Hi everyone, and welcome to our Jamaican kitchen yet again. I'm Anne, and Janet you will not see, but you may occasionally hear her. She's
Hi guys.
behind the camera. So this is Easter week, or Holy Week as we refer to it in Jamaica, and we thought that we would brighten up your time by sharing with you a traditional Jamaican recipe. So you have caught me. I'm just about to take it off of the stove. Today we are going to share with you Escoveitched fish, and we are sharing with you two different ways. So you'll see that we have here two different types of fish. So I'm going to, oops, this wants to break up a little bit. I will be explaining to you what's with the two different types of fish. So in case you didn't get the name, it's Jamaican Escoveitched fish. So over here you see our ingredients for fish, and I'm going to be walking and talking with you as I work my way through it. So as we mentioned, it is Holy Week, and it is traditional in Jamaica that in Holy Week you actually eat fish on Good Friday, and the fish that you eat, sorry to turn my back to you guys, I'm putting in here, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing as I do it, a 1/4 cup of water. All right, and I'm just going to let that water go ahead and start to boil, and I'm putting in the exact amount of vinegar. In Jamaica we use cane vinegar, so this is a 1/4 cup of distilled white vinegar, cane vinegar, but any vinegar you have will do as well. So just going to put that on a medium flame, and it will begin to boil up. All right, so also I'm going to put in it some, who remembers what this is? We covered it in a previous video. These are allspice, pimento seeds, and we love to cook with our pimento. So I'm just going to put a handful of pimento seeds here, just a few, to go ahead in that water. Go ahead and season up. Meanwhile, I'm going to put in here a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. So just a little sugar. We use brown sugar. If you don't have brown sugar, please don't go out to get it. If you do not have brown sugar, please go ahead and use white sugar. And about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. All right, so while that boils up, let me introduce you to the rest of our ingredients for Escoveitched fish. This is what we'll be using. So of course we all know this is onion. Regular onion will do. We have here carrots. We have here chocho. Now chocho, you may know it by a different name. If you're from the Caribbean, you may call it Christophine, or you may, if you're from Latin America, South America, you may call it chayote, right? But this is what it is. It is a plain vegetable, doesn't have much flavor of its own. It absorbs other flavors, and it's very non-fattening, so it's a good one to use. This is Scotch bonnet pepper. You will be familiar with Scotch bonnet from our previous videos. And Scotch bonnet pepper, one of the hottest peppers on earth, so we use it very sparingly, but it gives the right amount of taste, which is what we want. And by the way, adding the sugar may seem strange to you because Escoveitched fish is a savory dish, but always add just a little bit of sugar, which kind of brings out the flavor. So that's our Escoveitched fish. Over here you will see the allspice that we just referred to. So in the interest of time, what I did was I cut them up here, and as you can see, they make some beautiful colors. So my water is boiling. So remember, what did I put in here? 1/4 cup of water, 1/4 cup of vinegar, so equal parts water and vinegar. We're doing a small portion today, but if you wanted to do more, you could. And I'm just going to go ahead and slide in, and they're going to cook for about 5 minutes. Our carrots that we spoke about, our chocho, our onion sliced into rings, and just a little bit of this sweet, sorry, not sweet at all, this Scotch bonnet pepper. If you notice the Scotch bonnet, we have gone ahead and removed the seeds, because the seeds are what really carry the heat. So if you remove the seeds, you don't have to be that afraid of it. But still, just to make sure you do not turn everybody off, you do not use too much of it. So I'm going to give that about 5 minutes. It's going to go ahead and simmer there. I'm going to turn down the flame slightly. And the idea is that we want to cook these to, we're not going to make them all soft and soggy. We just want to cook them so they're, you know, the Italians say al dente. So we just want to cook them a little bit to get the flavors there, to get them a little bit tender. While they go ahead and cook, the timer. Oh, you want me to set the timer? Well, no, I have it. It's saying 8:11.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so my imported stove does not work, so it's not actually 8:11, but it works well as a timer. So in about 5 minutes, or you can do it for 5 to 7 minutes. What we have discovered is that if you want them crispy, your vegetables, then about 5 minutes. If you want them a little bit softer, then about 7 minutes. So there's no particular amount of time, but don't cook them, I wouldn't think, longer than 7 minutes. So while this is cooking, let me tell you about escoveitched. Well, the first thing I want to tell you about escoveitched is that we have not actually cooked this in a little while. So we have been very fortunate. For those people who have had our Jamaica tour, you know that we stop at Gallery Joe James.
Lobster Bowl.
And Lobster Bowl is the restaurant attached to Gallery Joe James. And we've been so fortunate that the wonderful cook, Mrs. James, the wife of the owner, has every year, she has provided for us Escoveitched fish, and she's an awesome cook. So we didn't even bother try with it ourselves. But this year, we're all in, what do you want to call it? Quarantine, solitary confinement, whatever you want to call it. So we are not able to get to Mrs. James to get our Escoveitched fish, so we're doing it for ourselves. But everything is an opportunity, because in doing this, we're getting the opportunity to share with you how we go about doing it. All right, so I'm just going to give this a stir every now and then, just to mix it up as the flavors marinate together. Anyhow, I was saying to you about Escoveitched fish. So we traditionally have it in Jamaica on Good Friday. Good Friday is the Friday that traditionally we commemorate the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And on that day, most Jamaicans are actually Christian or of Christian belief. So it has been our tradition and our heritage that on Good Friday, we do not light a fire, we do not cook. But of course, we're hungry, so we need to do something. So what we have done in the past is, or throughout the years, is Escoveitched fish. Now the name Escoveitched is, and Janet will be for sure to correct me, is said to be of Spanish origin. So remember, our heritage is out of many, one people. So the Spanish were the original Europeans to come to Jamaica and colonize us, and then we had the British. So, but the Spanish, there are a few dishes they left, and Escoveitched, it is written, is said to be one of them. And some people also say it was like a corruption of ceviche, which is, as some of you know, it's raw fish that you may get in South America, Latin America, and so on. So we cook our fish, because Jamaicans like to cook everything. We're not too much into the raw stuff, but that's where we are said to get the name Escoveitched. So the beautiful thing about Escoveitched is that you can prepare it as I prepared the fish from the day before Good Friday. What we are now doing with this is the marinade. The marinade is actually going to preserve the fish. So if you do not have a fridge, and of course everybody has one now, but you know, years and years ago they did not, you could just prepare it, pour the marinade over that. You're going to see that in a few minutes. And then it would just be able to sit on the counter. The marinade would seep into it, and you get the lovely flavors. It seems very simple, but it is delicious. And the other thing about it, it did not require refrigeration. And what's wonderful as well, let me just turn this down slightly. What's wonderful about it is that on Good Friday, you could have a cooked meal without having to turn on the stove and violate this tradition that we currently have. So I have to say that not everybody keeps up with the tradition of not lighting the fire, but we certainly keep up with the tradition of Escoveitched fish. So I'll take that off in a second. Yes, we have about a minute or two to go. So in the meantime, just to explain to you about these two types of fish we have here. Traditionally in Jamaica, this is the type of fish you might see. This might be a kingfish or a snapper, and if you notice, it is fairly thick, about half an inch thick, and this is the type of fish that we would do. So it has in bones, and people like myself who don't love bones that much, we mightn't want to eat it this way, but we decided to prepare it for you because this is a traditional way, traditional type of, we call it a steak of fish that you might see. We also could do a fillet. So I wanted you to understand that you can use any fish you have on hand. The other day we actually did it with salmon. Shh, don't tell anybody that you did escoveitched salmon, right? But you could actually do that as well. So any type of fish, whatever you prefer, it doesn't matter. So you fry your fish ahead of time, and of course this one, the steak of fish, will take a little bit longer, and the fillets would cook a little bit faster. How did I prepare the fish? Because the marinade has in it some lovely delicious flavors, I was very basic with this. I just seasoned it with salt and pepper. That's all, because the flavor is going to come from the marinade. All right, so I'm going to give this one final stir. As I said, between 5 and 7 minutes for this. So we are actually going to be shortly at the 6-minute mark. So see how the colors are coming out, and I didn't put in too much water, so this isn't going to make it soggy. You might think that it might make it soggy. It will not. And you see our pimento seeds there. By the way, you wouldn't want to eat pimento. The pimento seeds are just there to give it a little bit of flavor. One more thing before I take this off. These are what we traditionally do in it, but you can add other things. So for example, here we have sweet pepper. So if you wanted to put some sweet pepper in there, which would give it a lovely addition of color, the bright red, the bright green, the bright yellow, whatever color you wish, you feel free to do that. All right, so this is about ready. So let me just lay out everything, and I'm going to pour it over both of them so that you could see. Janet, is there anything that you think I needed to mention that I didn't get around to
no,
mentioning?
you're doing a great job.
Okay, so see, we're pouring over the marinade, and now what you love about escoveitch is just how pretty a dish it is. I mentioned that we eat it at Easter, on Good Friday in particular, but it is not the only time you can eat it. We actually eat it right throughout the year. But if you don't have it at Easter, it's like something is wrong. So this is when we always eat it, but you can have it at any time of the year. So see how beautiful this is? So I could just leave this on the counter and it would be fine till tomorrow morning, and then I would just get up and either before going to church, because most Jamaicans go to church, or many Jamaicans go to church, say for a 3-hour service between 12 and 3. So you could have this just before going to church, or if you decide to fast on that day, when you come back, it's right there. What would you eat this with? You could have it with hardo bread. So if you don't know if you're used to hardo bread, it's a very firm, doughy bread, and it's a favorite to eat this with. Again, you don't have to cook anything, so hardo bread is great to go with this. In other times of the year, we cook escoveitched fish with maybe some bami, which you might remember as a cassava bread. Could also have it with festival, which is a cornmeal dough, fried cornmeal dough. Or you could do it with Johnny cakes, and in a previous video Janet spoke to you about Johnny cakes. So that's how you prepare Jamaican escoveitched fish. I think that you can actually do it for this Easter. Like we said, stay safe, do not go outside, but hopefully you have everything that you need at home to do this, or you can go ahead and you can order in. Just use what you have on hand. And now, just to remind you that it's going to be on our YouTube channel, Jamaica Culinary Tours YouTube channel. It will of course be on our Facebook page. Remember, we're also on Twitter, we're on Pinterest, we're on Instagram, of course. Hey, we're on IGTV these days. We're getting techie. So you can find us on any one of those, and we would love you to actually share the love. So Go on, look at it, share with your friends so that they can get some Jamaican sunshine. You know, people feeling a little bit down this time of year. So this is a lovely bright dish, and it's something anyone can try. It's actually a great recipe to try with your family because the kids can julienne the vegetables and so on. And also, so we mentioned that we'd love you to share, give us your feedback. If you try it, go ahead and share with us what your dish looked like, any feedback that you have. Know where to get the recipe. You can go ahead and Google a recipe. There are several online. So hope you've been enjoying our videos. Hope you enjoyed this one. Give us your comments. We love hearing from you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. And as Janet would want me to remind you, I'm going to tell you, and if you don't know what I mean, remember that you can go back to a previous video. Turn your yard. Walk good, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.